Okay, and our second example about linear systems, by the way, are the only systems that you'll have to solve on an exam, quiz, homework, etc. So our second example for a linear system is the following. So we have x prime equals 10y, y prime equals negative 10x, and then there's also some initial conditions over here. So x of 0 is 3, y of 0 is 4. And so what we're going to do is we're going to plug in, and we're going to look here, and let's see, let's differentiate the top equation. We're going to end up with x double prime equals 10y prime, and therefore y prime is equal to 1/10 x double prime. And therefore, if we take this and plug it into the second equation for y prime, we're going to get that 1 over 10 x double prime minus, well, is equal to negative 10x. And therefore, x double prime plus 100x is equal to 0. Just multiply by 10, add the 100x over, and you get that. And so therefore, x of t is going to end up being, as we know, this is r squared plus 100, which is going to have roots plus or minus 10i. So you're going to get c1 cosine of 10t plus c2 sine of 10t. And then remember that y prime, y was 1/10 x prime. So y is going to be 1/10 times x prime, and then we just have to differentiate x prime. So that's going to be, let's see, negative 10c1 sine of 10t plus 10c2 cosine of 10t. Okay, this here is a 10t, just poorly written. Okay, and then we distribute the 1/10, collect all the like terms. This is going to end up giving us, oops, this is going to end up giving us c2 cosine of 10t minus c1 sine of 10t. And then again, here's our solution for x and y. The last thing that we need is we can figure out the values of c1 and c2. We need two initial conditions because you have two constants. And we can figure these out by plugging in the different values. So we know that x of 0 is 3. And if we take 0 and plug it in for x, we're going to end up with c1 because sine of 0 is 0. So that's nice. c1 is 3. And likewise, 4 is equal to y of 0. So y of 0 is going to end up being c2. That also works out particularly nice. Normally what would happen, or at least typically what would happen, would be if you were to have x of t and y of t, and you would have two constants each, you might have to solve another system of equations, like an algebra system of equations, to get c1 and c2. Okay, so you might have two equations, two unknowns. You'd have to solve that for c1 and c2. In this case, everything worked out nicely because sine of 0 is 0, so those terms just cancel. And therefore, our solutions that we're going to have are x of t is going to turn out to be c1, which is 3, cosine of 10t, plus c2, which is 4 sine of 10t. And then likewise, y of t is going to be, let's see, 4 cosine of 10t minus 3 sine of 10t. Okay, and that's it. There's our solution. Not anything more to say.